You know how to read a room. You knew before you walked through the door. Not because anyone told you to pay attention. Because you learned somewhere along the way that paying attention kept things from going wrong. You learned to feel the temperature of a room before anyone spoke, before anyone looked at you. You could feel whether it was safe, whether someone was already disappointed, whether the air was thin, or whether it had room in it for you to breathe. And depending on what you felt, you adjusted. Quietly, quickly, without being asked, before anyone noticed you were doing it. Maybe you learned to smile before you knew if you wanted to. Maybe you learned to say yes while something quieter in you was saying something very different. Maybe you made yourself useful so there would always be a reason for you to be in the room. Maybe you got very good at making other people comfortable at the expense of your own. And you are tired, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind of tired that lives in your shoulders, in the back of your jaw, in the part of your chest that never quite opens all the way, the kind of tired that comes from being the one who watches, the one who adjusts, the one who makes sure everyone else is okay before she checks on herself. If any part of you recognized what I said, this is for you. You don't have to explain how you got here. You don't have to have the right words for what you've been through. You don't have to be okay yet. You can be as tired as you actually are. Find somewhere comfortable if you're able. Let your hands rest somewhere soft. Let your eyes close if that feels safe. And if your shoulders are up near your ears right now, that's okay. That's what bodies like yours have learned to do. We're not fixing anything yet. We're here first. Only here. And that is enough to begin. There is a word for what you learn to do. The therapeutic world calls it the fawn response. And if you have spent any time in recovery spaces, if you have watched the videos, read the articles, quietly recognized yourself in language you wished you had found sooner, you may already know that word. But I want to offer you something the clinical language sometimes can't, because knowing the name of something doesn't always tell you what God thinks about it. And that is what we are here for today. So let me say this slowly. What you learned to do was not a character flaw. It was not weakness. It was not the habit of making yourself agreeable as a personality defect. It was not some failure of your faith or your backbone or your sense of self. It was a strategy. Your body, your nervous system, the part of you that existed before you had words, learned that making yourself agreeable kept the temperature from rising. Learned that smiling worked, that helping worked, that shrinking worked, that if you could become what the room needed you to be, you would be safer than if you didn't. And it was right. In that environment, in that house, in that relationship, in that church, it was right. The strategy worked. You survived. I want you to hear that word. You survived. Not because you were lucky, not because things weren't as bad as they felt. Because you were inventive. Because some part of you, very young, very unprotected, looked at an impossible equation and found a way through it. You solved for the variable that kept you safe. That is not weakness. That is a child doing something extraordinary under conditions no child should have faced. And some of you, I want to say this gently because I know it may land in a tender place, some of you learned this not just at home. Some of you learned it in the church. in environments where compliance was called faithfulness, where questions were called rebellion, where a woman who took up space was quietly, consistently taught that space was not hers to take, where the God you were handed looked a great deal like the people who required your smallness. I am not here to speak bitterly about that, but I am here to acknowledge it. Because if you learned to make yourself agreeable before God, if you learned that His approval worked the same way as everyone else's approval did, that you had to manage Him too, that you had to perform correctly to remain safe in His presence, then part of what we are undoing today is not only a survival pattern, it is a false image of God. And that is careful work, tender work. We will do it slowly. Understanding why it happened is one thing, and grieving what it cost you is another thing entirely. You may have gotten very good at understanding your story, at explaining it, at naming the dynamics, at seeing it clearly. But understanding is not the same as mourning. And your body knows the difference. I want to ask you something. And you don't have to answer out loud. You don't have to answer at all. You can let the question rest in you and see what it finds. When was the last time you knew what you wanted before you checked what everyone else needed? When was the last time you let a feeling show on your face before you decided whether it was safe to? When was the last time you said no and your body didn't brace for what came after? Take a moment with those questions, not to answer them, to feel what they touch. Because what I want to name right now, what I want to hold with you, is not only what happened to you, it is what it cost you. It cost you knowing yourself, not in a dramatic way, not all at once. In the quiet, accumulated way that happens when you spend years translating your real feelings into something more acceptable. Years of taking what was true in you and asking before you let it out, is this safe? Will this be okay? Will this make things worse? And sometimes the answer was no, and you put it back. And you did that so many times that eventually you stopped checking what was true in you first. You went straight to the question of what was needed from you. That is a profound loss. Let that land, not to shame the years, not to grieve them bitterly, but to honor what was lost with the weight it deserves. You may have lost friendships that were held together by your willingness to never ask for too much. You may have stayed in rooms, in relationships, in churches, long after something and you knew it was time to go. Because leaving felt more dangerous than staying. Because your body had learned that the cost of disruption was higher than the cost of disappearing a little more. And so you disappeared. Quietly, in pieces. So gradually that some days you didn't notice. And it was not a small thing. What was asked of you was not a small thing. What you carried, some of it explicitly, most of it silently, all of it before you were old enough to know you could say no, was not a small thing. You are allowed to feel the weight of that. You are allowed to grieve this, not in anger, not in blame, in the honest acknowledgement that something was taken from you. And some of it you gave away because you thought you had to. And some of it was taken before you were old enough to know it was yours to keep. Take a breath, a real one, not a managed breath, not a breath performed for anyone. One breath that belongs only to you. Notice your shoulders right now. Not to fix them. Notice. That's all. Have they lifted? Is there tension across your chest that wasn't there when we started? The mornings you woke up already tired because even in sleep something in you was still watching, your body remembers those mornings. That is not weakness. That is a body that has been carrying something real for a very long time. There is a verse I want to offer you here. Not as a solution, not to move you past the grief, but to let you know that you are not grieving alone. God speaks through Isaiah to a people who have lost so much of themselves they are not sure who they are anymore. And he does not begin with what they need to do, he begins with what he already knows. I have called you by name, you are mine. Not, I have called the version of you that held it together, not, I have called the version of you that smiled when she didn't mean it. Not, I have called the performance, he called her name. The name underneath all of it. The one she gave away so many times, the one she maybe forgot she still had. I have called you by name, you are mine. He is not moving you past the grief, he is in it with you, knowing your name, holding what it cost you, not rushing you toward the other side. Let that be near. You don't have to do anything with it yet. We will move forward when you're ready. And you are ready. Take one breath before we continue. You've just been somewhere tender. There's no rush to leave it. We can carry it with us into what comes next. I want to tell you what God saw, not what you think he saw, not what you were told he saw, what he actually saw. He saw a child in an environment that was too much for her. He saw a nervous system doing the only thing it knew to do to keep her safe. He saw someone solving an impossible equation with the tools she had. And he did not look at what she became and see weakness. He did not look at the smile she learned to wear and see deception. He did not look at the years of managing and adjusting and making herself useful and see a woman who lacked faith. He saw a child he loved in a situation she did not choose, doing what she had to do. I need you to hear that in your body, not only your mind, because your mind may accept it quickly. Your mind has probably already done a great deal of work to understand your story. But the body holds a different record. The body still braces. The body still watches the room. The body still asks, before it fully exhales, is it safe yet? And what we are doing today, what this prayer is for, is beginning to give your body a different answer. There is an image of God I want to offer you, and I want to offer it slowly because you may need time to let it replace something older, something you were handed before you were old enough to question it. He is not another authority waiting to see if you perform correctly. He is not keeping a record of the times you said yes when you meant no. He is not withdrawing warmth when you get it wrong. He is not a room you have to read before you enter. He is not like them. Sit with that for a moment. He is not like them. Because if the image of God you were handed looked like the people who required your smallness, if he felt like another presence you had to manage, another warmth that could be withdrawn, another authority whose approval had conditions written in the margins, then what we are doing right now is not only learning to receive from him, it is learning who he actually is. The prophet Zephaniah writes something so quiet, so unlike what many of us were handed as an image of God, that I want you to let it arrive slowly. Don't reach for it. Let it come to you. He will quiet you with his love. He will quiet you not correct you, not instruct you, not require something from you before he draws near. Quiet you, the way a mother quiets a child who has been through something too large for words, not with explanation, not with a lesson, with presence, with warmth, with the kind of love that does not need you to have it together to be given. He will quiet you with his love. And now I want to ask you something. I want to ask it, and then I want to give it a great deal of room, because it may be the most important question in everything we are doing today. What if you did not have to manage him? What if his presence was not another room you had to read? What if the vigilance could rest here, of all places, because there's nothing here that requires it? What if you could come to him exactly as exhausted as you are? Shoulders carrying what they're carrying, chest holding what it's holding, all of the watching still running quietly, and he was simply glad you came. Not glad you arrived composed, not glad you had the right words, not glad you had figured it out before you walked through the door. Glad you came. That may be the most unfamiliar thing I have said to you today. Because if you learned that approval was conditional, that warmth had to be earned, that love was a temperature you were responsible for maintaining, then a God who is glad you came before you have done anything to deserve the gladness may feel like something you don't quite know how to receive. That's okay. You don't have to know how yet. We are going to practice that together in just a moment. But first, there is an image I want to leave with you as we move toward the prayer. A verse written by a man who knew what it was to be in danger, who knew what it was to shrink, to hide, to survive rooms that wanted him gone. And on the other side of all of that, on the other side of the running and the hiding and the years of not being safe, he brought me out into a spacious place. A spacious place. Feel those words before you understand them. Don't reach for the theology yet. Feel the words in your body. Spacious. What does a spacious place feel like to a body that learned to be small? We are about to find out. I want to be with your body for a few minutes, not to fix it, not to force it into something it isn't ready for, to be with it. Because your body has been in this conversation too. It has been listening, it has been feeling, it has been doing what it always does, paying attention. So let's pay attention to it for a moment. Notice your chest first. Not to change anything. Notice. That's all. Is it open or is it held slightly braced, as if waiting for something that may or may not be coming? There's no wrong answer. Most bodies that have learned to read rooms before entering them carry a chest that stays slightly prepared, slightly forward or slightly in, held just enough that a full breath doesn't quite make it all the way down. Notice if that's true for you right now. And now, your jaw. Is it soft or is it set? The jaw holds so much that we never gave it permission to hold. Old arguments we didn't finish, things we wanted to say and decided weren't safe. Words that turned around before they reached our mouths and settled into the hinge of the jaw instead. Years of them, maybe. Notice. That's all. And your shoulders. Where are they right now? Are they low and easy? Or are they doing work, subtle work, the kind you stop noticing because it has been so constant for so long? Lifted slightly toward your ears. Rounded slightly forward, protecting the heart the way they learned to in rooms where the heart needed protecting. This is not wrong. I want to say that again because your body may have just noticed itself and felt something that moves towards shame. This is not wrong. This is your body doing what it learned. This is faithfulness. Actually, your nervous system keeping its promise to you, to stay alert, to stay ready, to keep you safe. It has kept that promise for a very long time, without being asked, without rest, without anyone noticing how much it was costing. And what we are going to do now is not override it, not silence it, not tell it that it was wrong to learn what it learned. We are going to offer it something new to practice, so gently and only as much as feels okay. See if your shoulders are willing to soften, not drop dramatically, not perform relaxation for anyone watching. Soften the smallest amount, as if they have been holding something heavy for a very long time and someone has finally said, you can set it down here, not forever, not all at once, here, for now. And your jaw, see if there is any willingness to let a little space open between your back teeth. Not a sigh performed, not a demonstration, a small release. The letting go of words that were never going to be safe to say in the rooms that required your silence. They don't have to be swallowed here. And your chest, see if it is willing to let this next breath go somewhere it hasn't been going. Breathe in and let it move down, past the chest, into the belly. Let your belly rise. That is your body beginning to remember what it feels like to not be braced against something incoming. It may feel unfamiliar. It may feel slightly like exposure, because a body that has been held tight for a long time can experience softness as risk. If the room is always dangerous, then releasing feels like leaving yourself unguarded. That makes complete sense. Your body is not broken. It is not overreacting. It is not failing you. It is operating on information it learned in rooms that were genuinely not safe. And the new information, the information we are going to let it practice today, is this. He brought me out into a spacious place. Spacious. Feel that word in the body you are sitting in right now. Not braced, not small, not compressed into whatever shape the room required. Spacious. The chest with room in it. That is the spacious place. The jaw with softness in it. That is the spacious place. The belly that rises when the breath comes in, because the breath is allowed to go all the way down. That is the spacious place. He brought me here, not because I performed correctly at the door, not because I managed well enough to be permitted entry. He brought me because he delighted in me. Not because I was useful, not because I was agreeable, not because I made myself small enough to be safe to have around, because he delighted in me. Let that move through you like a slow breath. You don't have to believe it fully yet. You don't have to feel it the way you might someday feel it. You only have to be willing to let it be near. And from that place, from a body that is even 1 degree more open than it was when we began. God, I'm here. I'm not sure I know how to do this without making it a performance. That's how deep this goes. Even now, even in prayer, there is a part of me that is checking if I'm doing it right, checking if the words are acceptable, checking you are pleased with how I'm showing up. I'm bringing that with me today. I'm not leaving it at the door and arriving composed. I'm bringing the part of me that monitors, that adjusts, that reads the room even when the room is your presence. because that is what I learned, and I don't know yet how to unknow it. So here I am, shoulders carrying what they're carrying, chest holding what it's holding. The part of my mind that never fully rests, still running, still watching, still waiting to see if something is about to shift. I'm bringing all of it. Because you said, come, not come when you have it together. Not come when you have rested enough to arrive without all of this. Come, only come. Come as you are. And I am trying to believe that you meant it for someone like me, for a woman who doesn't know how to enter a room without first checking if she is welcome in it. So I'm checking now, and I'm trying to let your answer be different from every answer I have received before. I'm trying to let you be what you actually are, and not what I was handed. Not the authority that requires my smallness, not the presence I have to manage, not the warmth I have to earn by getting it right. I am trying, God. I am trying to come to you the way a child comes to someone she trusts completely. Without checking first, without adjusting first, without making herself into something more acceptable before she walks through the door. I'm not there yet. But I am here, and I'm staying. Long pause, breath. Even now, there is a part of me wondering if I am doing this correctly, wondering if this is the right kind of prayer, wondering if you are waiting for me to arrive differently. I'm noticing that. And I'm staying anyway. Because staying, showing up without the careful presentation, walking through the door before I knew if the temperature was safe, this is already something new. I don't know what comes next, but I'm staying. God, I want to tell you what it cost. Not to make a case. Not to present evidence of how hard it has been, because I have spent so long making my pain presentable before I let anyone near it, and I don't want to do that here. So I'm going to say it plainly. It cost me knowing myself. I lost track somewhere along the way of what I actually felt before I decided whether it was safe to feel it. I lost the reflex, the one that moves toward what I want before checking whether wanting it will cost me something. I spent so many years translating, taking what was real in me, the exhaustion, the disappointment, the anger I was not allowed to have, and converting it into something more acceptable. Something that wouldn't raise the temperature, something that kept the peace, something that let me stay in the room. And I got so good at the translation that I started to forget what the original language felt like. The mornings I woke up already tired, because even in sleep something in me was still watching. I want to bring those mornings here. Not to explain them, not to resolve them, to lay them down somewhere they can finally be still. I grieve the years of yes when my body was saying no, the years of smiling across tables where I was not okay, the relationships I held together with my own careful management long after they had stopped holding me. I grieve the version of me that didn't shrink before she entered a room. I don't know her very well. I'm not sure I ever got to. I grieve the things I didn't say, the true things. The ones that were more honest than the things I offered instead. The ones that turned around before they reached my mouth and settled somewhere in my jaw, my chest, my held and careful shoulders. And I want to say something, God, that I have not let myself say out loud before. It wasn't fair. what I was asked to carry, some of it explicitly, most of it silently, all of it before I was old enough to know I could say no. It wasn't fair. I am not saying it in bitterness. I am saying it because it is true, and because I think you already know it is true. And because I have spent so long making space for everyone else's experience that I have rarely made space for the plain truth of my own. It wasn't fair. And you saw it. You were there for every room I read before I entered, every feeling I converted into something safer, every piece of myself I set down quietly so someone else could be comfortable. You were there, and you did not look away. I don't fully understand that yet. Why you were there, and the room was still dangerous. I'm not asking you to explain it today. I'm bringing the question with me the way I'm bringing everything else, without making it presentable first, because that is what I am learning, that I am allowed to come to you with the unresolved things. The grief that doesn't finish in one sitting. The questions that may not have answers this side of home. The anger that has nowhere else to go. I am bringing all of it, and I am asking you to be with me in it, not to fix it today, to be with me in it. You are with me, in the grief, in the questions, in the unfinished places, in the anger that is still finding its shape. You are with me, in the places that don't have clean endings, in the grief that isn't finished. You are with me. Well, I'm gonna let that be true even in the places I can't feel it yet. God, I want to try something I am not very good at. I want to receive, not give, not manage, not make myself useful. So there is a reason for me to be here. Receive. If you've drifted a little, that's okay. Come back to your breath. The breath is still here. You are still here. I'm not sure I know how to receive. I want to say that honestly. Receiving has always felt slightly dangerous, because in the rooms I learned in, receiving meant owing. Warmth that was given could be taken back. Care that was offered had conditions written in the margins I couldn't always read in time. So I learned to need less, to want less, to take up less, to receive as little as possible so there was less to lose. I'm bringing that here too. The part of me that doesn't quite trust that what you are offering is offered, without conditions in the margins, without warmth that can be withdrawn, without love that requires my performance to remain in the room. I'm asking you to help me practice something my body doesn't know yet. So I'm gonna try. I'm going to let my shoulders soften a little more than they think they should. I'm gonna let my chest open a little more than feels entirely safe. I'm going to let my belly rise with this next breath. And I'm going to try to receive it as something given, not earned, not managed into existence. Given. He brought me out into a spacious place. I want to feel that in my body right now, not understand it, feel it. The chest with room in it, that is the spacious place. The shoulders with permission in it, that is the spacious place. The breath that goes all the way down past the bracing, past the held places, into the belly, that is the spacious place. He brought me here. I did not earn my way in. I did not perform correctly at the door. I did not make myself agreeable enough to be permitted entry. He brought me because he delighted in me. I want to stay with that word. Delight. Not he tolerated me. Not he approved of me when my performance warranted it. Not he was patient with me in the way that barely conceals disappointment. He delighted in me. Right, the way you catch your breath at light on water, not because the water did anything, not because it performed or produced or proved itself, but because it is there. And it is beautiful, and you are glad it exists. He is glad I exist. Not the managed version of me, not the translated version, not the version that smiled across rooms where she was not okay. Me, the one underneath all of it, the one who is here right now, imperfect and exhausted, and still not entirely sure she is allowed to take up this much space. He is glad she is here. I'm going to stay in that for a moment longer than is comfortable, because my body needs time to let something this unfamiliar move from a thought into something it believes. And now, he will quiet you with his love. He is quieting me right now, not with instruction, not with correction, not with a list of what I need to do next to finish becoming someone worth loving. With love. With love. The quieting that doesn't require anything from me. The presence that isn't reading my performance to decide how warm to be. The love that was already here before I arrived, before I found the right words, before I made myself acceptable enough to enter. It was already here. I'm letting it be here now, as much as I'm able, with the part of me still watching to see if it holds, with the part of me that doesn't know yet how to stop checking. I'm receiving it anyway, imperfectly, slowly, with everything I haven't resolved yet still present in the room. I'm receiving it, and that is new. That is something my body has not done before, and he sees it. God, I want to claim something today. Not loudly, not triumphantly, quietly. The way you pick up something that was always yours but had been set down so long you almost forgot it belonged to you. I want to claim my name, not the name I became that required my smallness, not the name that meant agreeable, useful, easy to have around because she never asked for too much. My name, the one he knows. He speaks it through Isaiah to people who have lost so much of themselves, they are not sure what remains. And he does not begin with what they need to do. He begins with what he has already done. I have called you by name. You are mine. I want to feel that rather than recognize it from a distance. He called my name, not the performance, not the careful management, not the version of me that arrived already adjusted to whatever the room required. My name, the one underneath all of it, the one that existed before I learned to translate myself into something more acceptable. The one that was there in the very beginning, before any room taught me it was safer to be small. He called that name, and he said, "You are mine." Not, "You belong to me the way a servant belongs." Not, "You are mine the way a performance belongs to its audience." Mine, the way a child belongs to the one who would cross any distance to bring her home. Mine, the way something precious is kept close, returned to, delighted in. I am beginning to believe that I am his. And because I am his, I am beginning to believe that I am allowed to take up space in every room he has placed me in. Not because I earned it, not because I managed it well enough, not because I made myself useful enough to deserve the room. Because he put me there, and he does not place his daughters in rooms and then require them to disappear inside them. Daughter. I want to let that word land the way it was meant to. Not as a gentle nicety, not as a term of address, as a declaration of belonging. You are a daughter of the one who brought you out into a spacious place, of the one who quiets you with his love, of the one who called your name, your real name, the one underneath everything you became, and said, "You are mine." I am beginning to believe that is true of me. Let that move through you like a slow, full breath, into the chest that is learning to open, into the belly that is learning what it feels like to breathe without bracing. I am his daughter, and I am in a spacious place. I don't have to be small here. I don't have to earn my place here. I don't have to manage him. I only have to stay and let him be glad that I came. Left, you are still here. I want you to notice that. Not as an accomplishment, not as evidence that you did this correctly. You stayed. A woman who learned to leave herself in order to stay in rooms. Staying in a room that asked her to come back to herself. That is not a small thing. Before you return to whatever is waiting for you on the other side of this, I want to give you something to carry. Not a task, not an assignment, not a list of ways to begin doing this differently. A permission. You are allowed to pause before you answer. The next time a room begins to pull at you the way rooms always have, the next time you feel the familiar current of what is needed from you moving through the air before anyone speaks, you are allowed to pause. You are allowed to feel what is true in you before you feel what is required of you. Even if the pause is only one breath, even if no one around you knows that something has shifted, you are allowed to let a feeling show on your face, not perform the feeling, not translate it first into something more acceptable. Let it move across your face the way feelings were made to, naturally, without clearance, without checking first whether it will be received well. You are allowed to disagree, quietly, without drama, without managing everyone's response to the fact of your disagreement. You are allowed to hold a different thought in the same room as someone who holds a different one. You are allowed to say, "I see it differently." And you are allowed to take up space. Not as rebellion, not as overcorrection, not as the performance of a woman who has done her healing and wants the room to notice, as return. A quiet, unannounced return to the amount of space you were always meant to occupy. The space he had in mind when he made you. Before any room taught you to be smaller than that. You are allowed to need things, to want things, to receive things without immediately calculating what they will cost you or what will be required in return. You are allowed to be someone who has needs. That is not selfishness, that is personhood. If you want to go deeper into what it means to take up space, to find your way back to yourself, there is more waiting for you. The link is below. And now, before you go, I want to ask you to do one thing. Not for anyone watching, not as a spiritual discipline, not to signal that something has changed. For you, take one breath, a full one. Let it go all the way down, past the chest, past the held places, into the belly. Let your shoulders be wherever they are. Let your jaw be soft. Let your chest rise with the simple fact of air coming in. And let this breath belong only to you, not to the room, not to whoever is waiting for you to be okay enough to take care of something, not to anyone who ever made you feel that your breath took up too much space. This breath, yours. He brought me out into a spacious place because he delighted in me, Go gently. And know that you were fully seen here. Every part of you that came in, seen. The part that was still checking whether she was doing it right. The part that wasn't sure she was allowed to be here. The part that came anyway. He saw every part, and he was glad you came.